Hey everyone, welcome. This is Pat Gillette from Dragonfly Art Studios, and I've been playing around with what I call nature botanicals and gathering things from around the house. And it's like getting towards the end of summer. There are all these wonderful cool things. We have some kind of lavender thing. We have way too much ragweed, but the leaves are really cool. Some geranium leaves, so such patterns are wonderful, and other little flowers and things. And so I have them kind of arranged, and this is my sketch pad that does everything. But I still have a piece of wax paper underneath because we're going to be working with India ink, and I call it the magic of India ink because it's pretty amazing stuff. You can draw it on, you can paint it on, and then wash out your tools with water. And when it dries, it's permanent and it's waterproof. That's why it's so cool. And then I would take all my tools, like my brushes and things, and I try to not use my really good brushes, and I would wash them all with kind of soap and water. So when I say, you kind of rinse it out, you kind of dip it in water and go in your palm and kind of get the color out so you can change colors. Now, I've got a whole bunch of tools to use today. So Nature Botanicals and India ink. And I'm going to start with black sumi ink, okay? And it comes with this bamboo pen, all right? Now, the way I have things set up, I have it so I can look at them when I draw each thing. And so I've had this a long, long time, And this was just a cool thing at one time, for calligraphy and oriental drawing and things like that. So you dip your pen in, the pen fits into this opening of the ink it comes with. And let's just, try to make marks that I'm kind of working down the line of this, looking at this branch. I'm even let's just do the branch, kind of coming that way, okay? And then let's just kind of guide our way down and see what we have. I like things to go off the edge of the paper. Get a little more on there. Now, this is pretty thick tip. If you just use the tip like that, you get thicker lines. If you kind of go on its side, you get some lighter kind of things happening. There are definitely wonderful little bunches moving down the stem. And then a leaf. And then the stem gets a little bit more pronounced. And that's that, okay? So I'm trying to reproduce what I'm seeing, looking at it in this way. I rinse this in my water, wipe it with a paper towel, and let's move on to the next. Now, I have a number of these Japanese calligraphy brushes, and they're really fun to work with. And so I'll just try one of those. They're also set in bamboo. And I have Bombay, Dr. Martin's Bombay India ink. Now, each of these are pretty wonderful. I don't know, my stopper's not working real well, but they have to be really shaken up before you use them. And this is pretty shaken up already. I use a thin skewer to really scoop and mix in the stuff from the bottom if it's been sitting a long time. But this is a great color. This is Sepia. And what I want to do is I'm going to just kind of put my, see the stopper like this, just kind of drag my brush along that. and get some of the ink. And move some of these out of the way. I'd like to do this central piece. So I kind of, want to see it's sticky. And I kind of see it's like a flowing shape, It's like a flowing shape. So I'm going to just set this aside. I'm going to fill my nice little pointed pen and move this over and just kind of, now this all depends on the pressure that you put on it. And I'm off to the side a little bit. But thick and thin, broken lines, that's all kind of cool. It kind of goes along with the Japanese way, wabi-sabi and all that. I'm going to look at each little combination here and try to get the shape. And just kind of let your hand flow, get the feel for it. With these pens, it has a very calligraphic feel. And then the next one is kind of overlapping, kind of right there, and comes in somewhere here. So I'm going to just kind of move through. And just use my Sepia. And get the next one. This one kind of comes like this, so let's move our little petal. Shapes of things. So you're kind of looking at the object and letting and back and forth at the object and your paper and trying to capture it. Next one. There's a big piece missing. And then kind of whoosh off a little bigger. And whoosh off bigger. So this is why they say it almost becomes like its own little meditation kind of thing. Let's do one more and switch tools again. And this one kind of comes that close to that other one and out. And curvy bottom. Okay, now I'm going to wash off that brush. And move on to the next tool, which is a water brush. This holds water, or it can hold paint. And so you can squeeze it and water comes down and out through the tip of it. I really like this a lot. I use this for a lot of different things. And I'm going to, let's see if I can get my stopper to work a little bit. If I can get some of this ink in. May have to pour it. And continue on. Like the next one, there's a bigger space. And this goes all the way out like this. Different tools give you a whole different feel. Now I'm having more complete lines, but they go from like darker to light. I'm able to do more kind of detail work in it. And its partner comes off this way and off like this. Okay. Next one's lower and bigger yet. Next one seems to be more out this way. And coming down, now we've got one in the back. You know, and you can start out with one arrangement and mix and match your pieces as you go along. You'll find you're moving your hand and your body to the rhythm of the piece you're drawing. See, then you can kind of decide what tools you like best, you know, how you like the look of it to be. Let's get this in. Oh, well, I don't want to get that in. Let's get this a little bit more. We've got a leaf coming in the back. Going about here, 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 overlapping here, behind this one. Big kind of folded leaf. Okay. Now, next thing I would like to show you is that you can just get a calligraphy pen. This one has a round tip, you know, and the whole pen can dip in. Let's see how it does with this. So I look at this. This is really nice little flower arrangement. Okay, I'm going to just move it down a little bit. I'm going to kind of go from leaf to leaf. Makes you really appreciate how they used to write letters long ago. They had to keep dipping. With the pen, I can get other things happening here. Comes like that, and then there's another one coming like this, and they kind of come together. There's a leafy thing. It's a wonderful little bud coming in. And then another wonderful little bud coming off to the side. Very flowing. You have to always tap the brush, get the excess off. And then there's a petal behind that. kind of whatever's happening, make it overlap what we did. We got other kinds of petals happening. Another petal coming in. You can get all kinds of nibs, you know, pen tips. I would have to hunt a bit and find some more, which makes it all work a lot better if you can change your pen tips. Let's get the main branch in. Let's get that main stem coming in and shooting right off the page. Well, that's fine. It's a little scrapey at the bottom. That's okay. And then another little bud. So we have some interesting things happening here. Another little bud. And a stem. Well, that's nice. I like that. I like, you know, that there's different things happening. And if you drip, let's just make it something. Okay, now, let's see. I guess let's get a couple of these leaves in and see what we can do with those. Let's wash off the pen and try another one. Yes, we're moving down the line here. This is one of my favorites. This is Pentel color brush, and it comes like this, loaded with India ink already. Okay, so it's like one of these brushes, but loaded with India ink. All right, so let's try this. These things. These things are just wonderful. I'm gonna just kind of start up here. And if I hold it closer, I have more control. But if I hold it a little farther back, I get all kinds of little ripply little things happening. And then it kind of wonderful. It kind of folds up this way and then kind of comes in this shape this way. Wonderful leaf. Now let's find my way again. See if I hold it higher, I can get lighter lines coming in. And pretty hefty stem here. Do that kind of thing. And then to work into it, it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, it's fascinating. You know, there's sacred geometry happening in every bit of nature. So let's just kind of try to take it up. Keep it light. And then there's this wonderful other color coming in. What I would do with that, I would take a brush water in the brush and go back into my little paint and make a wash. You know, you can make a wash of a color. kind of carries through with what you're seeing. Ink is so wonderful. You know, and clean my brush off a little bit and just kind of drag this off to the edges. And ink is a wonderful thing to play with. You know, you never quite know what it's going to do. Let's do one more leaf on this side with, let's see what I've got here. You know, and if you don't have any ink, you know, you can always just get a nice Sharpie marker and work with a Sharpie marker. I'm going to, what do I like best? I'm going to go back to this. I know, I'm going to go back to my brush and get some of the color in so that everything's not so dark. You know, another, so what some people like to do is to like try it with their non-dominant hand. All right, you know, really let go and see what it's gonna do. No, that's kind of nice. I like things overlapping. And let's see here. Let's fill up this space. So again, let's get a stem coming in an interesting way. And the slower you go, the more intricate it looks. You can use any color. You know, this is the thing about India ink. It comes in the most gorgeous colors. But I just want to use like tones of nature, kind of stick to not too many colors. But you know, whatever you like, give it a try. And again, it's got some of that pattern going in there. And I like when, with ink, you know, things kind of go from dark to light. I can squeeze a little water out of this brush. So I can start in darker in here, squeeze a little bit of the water, and it blends. Okay, looking at you, oh, petals, little petals. All right, let's just do that with that little marker. And, you know, kind of toss them down and check them out, and real delicate. You can combine all kinds of things. You know, the thing is that they're waterproof. And I'll show you why in a minute. So we'll just get our wonderful little petals in. Okay, we doing well? You seeing all that stuff going on there? Okay, get all of our botanicals off. Now, I have this very cool color called Terracotta, Bombay Terracotta India Ink, Doc Martens. Again, shake it up quite a bit. And I'm going to put some of that, drops of that in. And always remember to really close the caps tight on all of these when you're done for the day. I have a big brush, not expensive, filled with water. Okay, now I'm going to just get some of this and make a very warm wash. This is a terracotta. And I can go right over this and nothing is going to smear. See, this is what's magic. This is cool. You can give it a wash. You can add tones here and there to it all. Spread it out to the edges a little bit. Keep going with your brush until it kind of dissipates and disappears. Leave some areas white. And nothing's going to smear, you know? This is what's great about this whole thing. Now, I kind of like to get some deeper tones going in towards the bottom. And I've got an indigo I'd like to try. Let me just pour a little bit, a couple drops. Into my little oriental bowl. Now here's the thing. Okay, so we've got this. Now, say I want this indigo to just go here. I can wet this area, take my indigo and put it in, and it'll just go where it's wet. And that's really nice, you know. So I can keep a lot of the outlines. Look how wonderful, look what it does, you know? I mean, you can tip it. You can let it run a bit. You can take your brush. You can drag it through a little bit. Keep your stem. Leave some white. Carry it through to the other side. I really like contrast. I think contrast in any painting is really important. So leaving some parts white, getting some parts very deep and dark, it's all wonderful, you know? It all adds to the magic of it. Get more water, carry this through. Anytime you water anything down, you can use paint, you can use ink, anything as a wash. Carry the color through. Now it's layering transparently over the brown we had down there and making different tones happen. And that's pretty cool. We can take some of this. Let's get a little smaller brush. I can take some of this and put it in. You can do some of the leaves. Just part, maybe just the lower part, to make them stand out more. Kind of that kind of a thing. I would come up here. Let's do this leaf. Let's do part of this leaf. Kind of overlapping things. So it starts to get almost looking a bit abstract. So you're making a design and a pattern. Let's put some of this in here, coming out a bit. Some white, some dark, some mid-tones. You know, it's all play. You're playing here. Make one of these blue. We'll take another bigger brush and make some of this area around these so they stay white. And just kind of go around. And it can go over, it won't smear. And carry it down to highlight the things you really like. Big brush, bring it out to the edges. You know, we need this more than ever. We need to just play and create and make stuff. It's how you learn. Oh yes, and I want to show you one more thing. Very cool thing. Now these are all India ink, permanent ink, waterproof, made with a carbon base. Okay. Now I have this other kind of ink. That's alcohol ink. Okay. And with this, let's get a nice color here. Stream is a wonderful color. Now here's how they come. Okay, now this, you know, if you were to use this on a brush, you can rinse the brush off, but then you want to use like a alcohol or something. You need to have like rubbing alcohol to clean your brushes and stuff like that. Now this, what this will do, let's fill in some of these other leaves. We can just carry it through with the tip. Take our little brush. And bring it through. This paper, alcohol ink, works really well on real slick paper. This paper just absorbs it. But if you were to sprinkle like drops of alcohol, it would like bead up and do all kinds of wonderful things. So we could just kind of carry it through. And it just kind of blends. There's all kinds of fascinating things. We can carry it out. We can bring it through. We can dab it, and it adds a whole nother blue, a whole nother kind of dimension to it all. And this is the alcohol in a little dropper. Now this alcohol ink will soak through the paper. So that's the thing you have to be careful of. But look at the tones and the colors that you get from this. And then, the last thing you can do is you can really accentuate some of this with more of the lines, like with a marker. You can just really play up some of these as though it's just kind of echoing. Different lines happening. As though it's like the spirit of the leaf. Coming through. Just to make it more interesting. Designs on top of the designs. I'm going to let this part go, but just kind of carrying it out, adding another dimension to it all. Like this one needs something. Echoing it. Giving it another dimension kind of a thing. Carrying it off to the edge. And then this little guy needs something. Just on one side. Just kind of filling in the space. Connecting things together a little bit. Accentuating the shapes a bit. And then if this is dry, I might give that a try. Now another thing you can do. Okay, if something happens that's just like a little bit, too much or something, you can always take a little bit of acrylic paint, and let's get a nice brush here. Now this is green gold. This is a pretty incredible color. You can kind of work into it and just put a little bit of something else happening. Kind of break it up a bit. Use white. You can lighten it up a little bit with white. Just kind of carry through a little bit of tone. Okay, now everything is exploring. Everything is experimenting, There'll be parts you love, parts you don't love. Everything doesn't have to be a masterpiece, But play with ink. Try some India ink. Try picking things from the garden and around. Try sketching them out and see what you end up with. Thanks so much for being here, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.